Hello, everybody.
Goodbye, everyone.
You sound like you're feeling a little contrarian today, there, my friend.
I feel a little contrarian every day. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to the Mikestand. Of course, it's our weekly look back in time to down comics history lane. I'm joined tonight by the Metal from the Vomitorium. And before I pass off to him for a moment to give him a chance to, to introduce himself a little bit more and promote anything he'd like. I do have a slight correction. I know I've been talking about doing Smiling Jack from Dell four colors number 5. I was mistaken. We're actually going to be doing Super Comics number 25. I'm going to be looking through a few stories from there. So just a little correction there on my part. I apologize. It was not my intent to deceive anybody. It just happened. Sometimes stuff happens. You know, um, but with all that being done and said, I'm going to hand it off to the Metal here for a moment. Metal, if you'd like to introduce yourself, promote anything, share any links. I think you know the shtick, right?
It was me. I was the one who secretly caused the kerfuffle. I deceived you all. Anyway, hey, I'm the Metal. I do stuff. Uh, Especially, I create fiction in the universe of X Dynamis Chaos that you can find at um, the wrong chat. Where am I? xdynamuschaos.com. And if you happen to be one of our longtime readers or supporters, X Dynamis Chaos now, out of almost necessity, has a Patreon. So, you can get some cool bonus stuff monthly by supporting and giving me money because I deserve money. Yeah. I also host a show or a channel called The Vomitorium with several shows on it, but I'm not getting that link right now.
Like Super Sentai Showdown, which comes
It was a
on
super serial showtime.
Super Serial Showtime, comes on Mondays at I believe it's 9 p.m. Eastern, correct?
9 Central.
Not Central, 9 p.m.
Yeah.
Central. And then
Even
Dane,
though right now you and I are the same time zone, because Arizona doesn't do daylight savings and it's confusing for everyone else, I still just go by the Central time I used to use.
that's what I figured, and that's why when I sent you the StreamYard link, that's why I put Central Time for that reason. Yeah, but then again, we may be looking at a possibility sometime in the near future that may not necessarily be a problem anymore. Don't know if you heard, but they've been talking possibly about just doing away either with daylight or I think they're considering making daylight savings permanent for the whole country. Basically,
If they make daylight savings permanent for the whole country, again, they tried this before in the past and it only lasted a decade before they reverted it. That's going to lead to a lot of serious health issues and maybe even unnecessary deaths like it did last time, just because DST is horrible for the body. Like, it does not line up with the natural sunlight or circadian rhythm. People just want it because they want an extra hour of sunlight after they get off of work. It's awful. It should be permanent standard time.
yeah, that might be what they were. I know that there's been
Oh, no,
talk.
they were talking about permanent DST, which is a stupid idea.
Hmm. Okay, I thought I heard some. I wasn't. I thought it was daylight savings, but I might have been wrong. But you're saying they were in fact talking
Yeah,
about
yeah. And it's a
permanent.
dumb idea to do that. We should be on permanent ST.
Hmm. Kind of like the rest of the world.
Yeah, which is also what Arizona is on, is permanent standard time.
Yeah. Well, with that being said, You ready, Metal?
Never. Let's go.
Quite the contrarian. All right, so I'll go ahead and pull up. And if there is anyone in the chat, of course, a friendly reminder, of course, if you guys can help out by liking and sharing the stream, see if we can get some more friendly people in here to engage. That'd be appreciated. Also, if anything here that we talk about tonight grabs your attention, feel free to comment and or ask questions. We'll try to answer the question best of our ability. Even I'm having a little dunce brain there. But anyways, and I did forget to mention, Super Serial Showtime on Monday at 9 Central. Also on the Vomitorium on Thursdays. Game
Central Junction.
Game Central Junction on Thursdays at 9 p.m. Central. So check those out, everybody.
Yeah, I was originally going to call it Game Central Station, but then I remembered that's the name of the transit thing in Wreck-It Ralph, and Junction just sounds cooler anyway, so I said screw
it. Yep. All right, so let's look at this. So, of course, here's the cover of Super Comics, 10 cents, June number 25, the 25th issue here.
So, yeah, that must have been somebody's whole week of allowance.
Back then, yeah. Magic Moro, Dick Tracy, Tiny Tim, and Smiling Jack. Now, just a heads up to everybody, due to the fact that they were copyrighted characters, Dick Tracy and Little Orphan Annie, that were originally a part of this book, were taken out due to copyright issues. So we won't have those stories, but we'll have a few others, and I'll just randomly pick stuff out as we go along. And Metal, as always, of course, feel free if anything grabs your attention there, feel free to comment or comment on anything that grabs your attention there. So let's get into some of this stuff. Foolish folks. Let's see what. Don't mind him. Waiter, he just got back from a camping trip. All right. Oh, that was a good. Oops.
Because when you're out camping, you're just used to throwing your scraps off to the side. It's all biodegradable. Something will eat it.
Yeah. Herman has never forgotten the days when he was a bricklayer. All right. Chinaware department. I'd like to see some cheaper ones. My wife has an awful temper. Chinaware is naturally very expensive, isn't it?
Yeah, it's usually very, very expensive ceramics because they used to be imported. Then eventually it just kind of became a name for a certain type of ware, no longer actually from the Orient. But yeah, people have a tendency to throw things when they have a temper.
Mm-hmm. Dog races. That was Swank, kid. That was Swank, kid. Kid is here again. All right. Oh wait, that damn Swank kid is here again today. All right, so there we go with that one.
I do like single panel comics. Obviously, this is like a collection of 4 different single panel comics. I think it's a true talent to be able to tell an entire joke or story in just one snapshot.
Yeah. Well, again, obviously, I'm not gonna. I'll do the more generalized at the end. I won't like for each and every feature like I what like I do normally when we do more feature stuff, or more,
Oh well, this is a word of appreciation. That's all it is.
huh?
It's simply just a word of appreciation on the talent it takes to craft a joke or a story in a single snapshot.
Yeah. All right. So let's move on to Tiny Tim by bring by
Stanley Link, I think, is what it says.
Stanley Link. All right. Synopsis: Tim and Dottie are to be the stars of the circus. Bullo, the strongman, is jealous and has tried to ship them to South America, but Jumbo the elephant saved them. Well, kids, you're going to make your entrance in style tomorrow night. You're going to dash into the ring in a little golden carriage, drawn by four of these fiery little steeds. How do you like them? My goodness, a real little horse. Where, 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 where did you ever get a pony that small, George? I can't believe it's true. Right you are, folks. It isn't true. Presto changeo, the hand is quicker than the eye. Pulls off. Woo woo. Can you can you beat that? It's nothing but a dog with a mask on. Tomorrow is the big day. Tiny Tim and Dottie give their first performance. For 3 weeks they have been rehearsing, but with only 24 hours to go, now every minute seems like a year to them. Timothy, you make me nervous. Why don't you get down? Why don't you sit down? You're the one that's making me nervous, walking around all the time. Hey, you two kids keep keep spinning around like a couple of tops. This is a circus, not a marathon. Now now you'd better be getting to bed. You've got a big day ahead of you tomorrow.
Now, looking at the shape that lady's in, she's probably getting tired just watching them.
No kidding. uh, just talking to Lotta governor. Um, just talking to Lotta governor. She says the two kids have been on edge all day. They won't sit still. Do you suppose something's wrong? Nonsense. That's a great sign, George. They're all keyed up and raring to go. Did you ever watch the winner at a horse race? He just can't wait till the barrier goes up. Hmm. The day of days, bands are playing, peanuts cracking, and pink lemonade flowing. Everywhere the circus spirit runs high under the big top. The equestrian director is about to introduce the next act. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting the marvel of the age, the sensation of the century, the world's smallest brother and sister, Tiny Tim and Danny Dottie. Hurry up, sis. That's our cue. We're next. Oh, Tim, I'm so nervous. Gangway, here they come. Folks, Tiny Tim, and Danny Dottie.
I think it says dainty.
Oh, Dainty?
Yeah.
Dainty
Which
Dottie.
makes sense given her size.
Yeah. Well, I think Danny could work too, but I get what you're saying. Danny probably is what it is. Look at this. Pictures of the opening last Saturday night. And your photographs all over the papers. You two certainly made a hit with the critics. They think you were great. Oh gee, but were we scared in front of that crowd? Wait a minute. I almost forgot. Here's a note for you that was left after the show. Gee, listen to this. Dear Tim and Dottie, sorry we could not stay to see you after the show, but we had to catch an early train. Your act was simply wonderful. We enjoyed every minute of it. We were so proud of our Tim and Dottie. All our love, your old friends, Mr. and Mrs. Brown. Oh boy, isn't that swell? all the publicity and newspaper write-ups don't mean a thing to them, but as soon as they get a simple little note from a couple of old friends, they go off with their heads in a whirl. Well, I mean, what would you say to that there, Metal?
I don't know. I mean, obviously they don't know how to handle it, right? Like they were very nervous and they're getting praise and stuff. Like what kid would know how to handle this, right? It's all a very new experience to them.
Yeah. Nothing but raves, Governor. The critics have all gone gaga over the two kids, Tiny Tim and Dottie. Our Tiny Tim and Dottie are the talk of the town today. Oh boy, what a find! They'll be the biggest thing in the business if this keeps up. That's great, George. I'm certainly tickled. Let's see. Oh, there's only one sour note in the chorus of praise. Bolo, the strong man, whose place Tim and Dottie took in the center ring. And they think those kids are good. Bah! Meanwhile,
Jealousy strikes.
yeah. Meanwhile, wherever Tim and Dottie wander across the lot, they are the center of admiring glances and congratulations. Gee, sis, we've only been with the circus a couple weeks, and everyone is treating us like old timers already. Well, kids, I've got a little surprise for you. Here, you hear from the cashier's cage a bundle of pretty engravings with pictures of George Washington on them. You mean something for us? Dottie, look! It's our salary. 50 whole dollars for us. Just think of having that much money. We're rich. Let's go buy something.
Yeah, I mean,
I know.
$50 is a
Huh?
lot of money at that time. I mean, consider this comic only cost 10 cents.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but I think that's even for that time period. I think to say you're rich if you have $50 might be a slight exaggeration.
No, 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 no. We're looking at this from the perspective of a couple of kids, though, right? Somebody who's like allowance at highest might be $1 if they were from a heavier family, right? So a kid with $50.
They could buy quite a big ice cream sundae with that, huh?
Yeah.
To say the least.
Also, I just keep getting distracted. I know it was a fashion of the time, and often he's involved with horses, but like those like jodhpurs, the pants that he's wearing throughout most of it are just
Uh-huh.
they're driving me crazy. I'm like, how was that ever a fashion?
Well, it was. What can you say? It was.
Yeah.
Anyways, all right.
I think the only people who wear those anymore are jockeys.
Mm-hmm. Wait a minute there. You take a tip from an old timer and save as much of that as you can. You just let me put it in the bank for you and then watch it grow. But can't we spend any of it? Work hard, spend a little, and save a lot. That's the that's the secret of getting rich. We'll put all but $2 in the bank this week. So $48.
Mm.
That leaves $1 for each of you to spend as you please. Oh boy, a whole dollar all for myself.
Yeah, I mean, hey, that's still a lot. You could buy 9 of these comics depending on what the taxes are in the area you are.
Mhm. Yeah, just run to your local newsstand and buy 10,
Yeah.
10 comic books. You know, let's see. I think if I remember from a I think if I remember from an old Looney Tunes cartoon, a Porky Pig cartoon, when he was trying to buy a sundae or something like that. I think it was something
Mm.
like 20. I don't know. I don't remember if it was a nickel or 20 or a quarter. But if it was a nickel, you could buy 20 sundaes with that. If it
Oh
was a
yeah, yeah.
quarter, if it was a quarter, you could buy 4 sundaes. So, Tim and Dottie have just received their first week's salary. Lotta is going to put most of it in the bank, but she's given each $1. And so I guess Lotta is acting more as like their guardian in a way. I guess.
Oh, somebody's got to take care of the kids, right? And she seems to be a very sweet lady too. Like, there's no hint that she's taking advantage of them or anything. Like, she's actually putting it in the bank for their own good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Where are we going, Tim? Wait and see. Uh, bet I beat you to the lemonade stand. Wonder how many lemonades they can get for $1 each. uh,
Oh man, a lemonade? That should just be a nickel, honestly, at most.
well, like 20 lemonades.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because lemonade doesn't cost much to make, right? It's mostly just being able to afford to keep the stand running.
Right. Well, what'll be, Shorty? A big glass of lemonade with a straw for each of us, please.
Oh, see, that's the other thing too. They're so small they don't even need a lemonade each. They can just split it.
Uh huh. Yeah, good point. Come on, Dottie. We're just getting started. Let's go buy some peanuts and have a feast. Yeah, because for them, I guess being as small as they are, a single bag of peanuts from back then would be, I guess.
Yeah. See, we have to bring this perspective even further, right? $50 total, or even just $1 each. That's a lot for a kid, but that's even more for somebody who's like 2 inches tall or whatever they're supposed to be. Like whatever they get could go a really long way.
Uh-huh. Yeah, good point there. Good commentary there. Good point. Um, Here you go, Jumbo. The rest are yours. One peanut makes a whole meal for Dottie and me.
What year did this come out?
this comic came out in May of 1940.
Okay. I'm gonna
Why were
actually
you
go
asking?
calculate the inflation on that. I'm gonna see what that was actually worth.
What, the $50 or the $1?
No, the $1 specifically.
Hmm.
It was 1940. Okay.
May of 1940. Yeah.
Yeah. That has the same buying power today as just under $23. Yeah.
Like, so for me, as part of my morning ritual, right? I walk up
Mhm.
to my local store to buy um an energy drink, right?
Yeah.
So I drink one energy drink a day, right? So $23, right? You
Yeah.
want to talk about perspective there, right? $23 will get me at least will get me 6 energy drinks, with $2 to spare.
Mm.
So 6 days straight, I can buy an energy drink with $23.
Yeah. You want to know what the whole 50 is?
What's the whole 50?
$1,140.
Dang.
Yeah, for a couple of kids.
I throw the majority of that in my savings account faster than you can say Mississippi.
And that's a single week's pay, right? So if you multiply that by 4, you have like their month salary. It's like that's not a lot, but for somebody with no responsibilities who's a miniaturized kid, that's a huge amount of money.
Man, and they could make it last for quite a bit too.
Mm-hmm. That could start saving up into like a college fund or something.
Yeah. And look who's here. Look who's here. Hey, Rick. Hey, oh. And somebody who's been visiting a lot more regularly. A friend of yours, Metal.
Oh, hey, Fizz.
His shows though. He's been coming by a bit lately, which I'm glad for. Well, I hope you guys are enjoying the show thus far. Um. Anyways, back to the story here. Hey, get away from there. What do you think you're doing? Out you go. I'll teach you to try and sneak in without paying your way. I haven't any money, and I wanted to see Tiny Tim and his little sister. Huh? Just a second. Just a second there, mister. Don't put that young fellow out. If he wants to see the show, I'll pay his way. Tickets. One ticket, please. Way down in front. My public. Hmm? Hi there, Slick. Looks like another sellout tonight. No fooling. Business pretty good. Business pretty good, huh? I should say it is. we've had to turn folks away every night this week. Took in almost $5,000. Wow. Probably not something you want to be announcing, right there, Metal.
Well, I mean, that depends on who you're talking to, security of the area, and I don't mean like your security, but like the trust of the area or not. But that could be a bad idea. It might alert some thieves or whatever, you know.
Yeah, I might as well just put a big target sign on the circus and go, "Hey, there's $5,000 here. Come rob us."
You know, oddly enough, circuses didn't get robbed very often.
Hmm.
At least the ones that had usually very athletic talents, like gymnasts or even strongmen. And it's like, sure, what are they going to do to a gun? But it usually just deterred a lot of criminals. You're like, that guy can bend a pipe with his bare hands. Do I really want to go and rob that place?
Uh, all right, so I guess you. All right. I guess you two had a bit of an exchange there. You and Fit Shozo there.
No, I guess.
All right. Moving on. Moving on to the next page here. Of course, $5,000 a night, 40,000 a week. Um, Not quite. 5,000 a night. If you go on 7 nights, it's more like 35,000. But
Yeah.
um, obviously, this whoever wrote this comic wasn't at least had a bit of. Well, I could see rounding up too. I mean, there's always a chance that might make a little more here or there. But anyways, counting matinees, 160,000 a month. Sounds to me like a lot of dough. Hmm. Where do you think this is going? You think I may have hit upon
Yeah.
something?
Yeah. Do you know what 5,000 a night would equal?
35,000 a week, and then
No, I'm talking about in today's money.
oh, how much?
That's $114,000.
That would be quite. What I could do with 50 or 100,000 right now. Give up this job of being a barker for good. Have it shot for the rest of my life. Well, Slick, that's something to think about. Oh boy. Ha ha ha! Oh boy, that sure was a funny one that Joey the Clown pulled on Slim. Ha ha ha! I know what I'll do. I'll go find Dottie and tell her the news. Golly, sis, have you heard the latest? There won't be any performances today. The show's been called off. Called off? Goodness. What's happened? What do you mean no performances? Hmm. They fed old Jumbo coffee this morning and he swallowed the grounds. Huh?
It sounds
Ow.
awful.
Oh, were you about to say something? I'm sorry, Metal. Were you about to say something?
I was saying that sounds awful. Swallowing coffee grounds.
Yeah.
Oh, Fizzoso
Oh,
asks what comic is this? This is Tiny Tim.
well, the specific the specific one we're going over right now is Tiny Tim, but the comic is Super Comics from Dell Comics. Came out in May of 1940. So Super Comics from Dell from May of 1940. Let's see. Howdy, folks! Brace yourselves for the biggest piece of news since Washington crossed the Delaware. Hello, George. Hello, George. What's up? The governor leased the show this coming Thursday night to a bunch of millionaires for a charity benefit. No fooling? Yes, sir. You're going to entertain the cream of society. The whole 400 will be there. The Van Cliffs, the Money Rocks, the Longresses or Longrins, all in the flesh and worth their weight in platinum. Just thought I'd tip you off, is all. The seats are selling for $10 a ticket. So it's up to you, folks, to give your best and remember, it's all for the sake of charity. Gee, say, that means we'll be stepping out in society. All right, so $10 a ticket for, let's say, what they're saying is 400 people. So
Yeah.
that would be $4,000, I believe. You want to do the inflation calculation there?
Sure, I could do that. I still have it up. In today's money, if we're talking about $4,000 worth, right? Would be $91,000, give or take.
Actually, $91,000 for charity. That would be quite, and $4,000 back then for charity back then.
With each ticket being worth about $228 in today's money.
That is quite richy.
Yeah, that's like, I remember going to a circus not that long ago, though obviously inflation spiked up since then. But that was like the cost of taking everyone to the circus.
Oh, Rick just asked something interesting. Will the Waynes be there? Oh, wrong comic company. Laugh out loud.
Yeah.
This is Dell Comics, not DC. But they both start with a D, so I can see how you get confused. Barnes Big Top Circus Grand Benefit Performance, Thursday, May 10th. Entire proceeds to be donated to charity, sponsored by, and then I can't read all those. Jesus, just take a look at those names. Monty Rocks, Van Cliff, Long Green, everyone a millionaire.
Which meant a lot more back then.
All right, I guess they'll continue that story, I guess. Because, let's see, we didn't get the... Oh, continued next month. Okay, there we go. All right, so I knew I said I wasn't going to do each individual one, but
Yeah.
I might as well just, because we're going to kind of be bouncing through these, overall impressions.
There's a couple funny moments. I think it's a endearing comic, which I think is what they're aiming for more than anything. I don't think it's meant to be like a hysterical comic or action packed or anything. But I don't know. It wasn't doing much for me.
Like, remember, these were originally done in the newspapers, so these are news strips.
No, I know.
Yeah, so
yeah.
But this,
you can kind of tell just from the flow of it,
This strikes me more as a kind of a slice of life type of humor comic. So I do need to step away from the computer for a moment. So if you want to talk to the chat for a moment, strike a conversation, promote anything, I'll be I'll be right back.
Yeah. So I'm somewhat familiar with the Tiny Tim comic anyway. I'm not like super into it. I couldn't tell you everything that happens. I do know eventually his size changes again because there's gypsies involved. And eventually Dottie just disappears, is not in the comic anymore. And then he gets like the ability to go back and forth between being normal size and like 2 inches tall. It's a it's a weird comic, but you know what? I mean, what isn't, right? Like you want to be weird. You got to stand out from other people. So, yeah. Rick says, "Sorry, forgot to contact on Friday." Yeah, well, because you didn't contact, I completely forgot. Like, which is why I told you to contact me on Friday because I wasn't going to remember otherwise. So he becomes Ant-Man, I guess, in a way, sort of. Because he can go back and forth at will. He doesn't like have any of the perks of being Ant-Man, I guess, but other than the size. But that doesn't happen till like way later, I think. I think he's just like that size in general for most of the comic. I've only read random ones.
All right, I'm back. So, yeah, sorry, forgot to contact on Friday. So,
Oh, I already responded to that. Yeah.
yeah. All right, so
I think so Fitzjoseph's comment got flagged. I had to let it through as a mod. I think it probably only got flagged because he wrote it all like the name in lowercase, because he wrote the word Dick, right, which is Dick Tracy's name, and YouTube auto flagged it. If he capitalized the D, I think they probably would have recognized that it was supposed to be a name.
yeah. Well, and of course we've talked a lot about this when we've gone back over these older comics and stuff.
Yeah.
How the word usage and all that, where Dick was a common short form for Richard.
Oh, I know. That's my middle name. So.
Oh, your middle name's Richard?
Yeah.
Uh,
Because it's my dad's middle name too. We have the same name. I'm a junior, and often growing up too, they'd be like, "You're such a dick."
that is kind of funny. Anyway, what I'm gonna do here, since these are reprints and stuff like that, we'll kind of more like do every other story, so we don't get too bogged down. So Smiling Jack here, we'll just kind of breeze through it. I'm not gonna read the actual story, but you can at least kind of show.
Rick says, "I didn't know we shared the same name." I think I've told you that before. It might have been a long time ago.
Now, just for your information, Smiling Jack is an Aviator comic. And then here's a couple. I guess a few one-off panels here for humor.
Mixed in with the ads, just to make the ads a little more entertaining. We're not going to take up the whole page with ad space.
Yeah. I bet you think I'll bet you think I'm awful.
Yeah, I mean, loading your boxing gloves with horseshoes so you could knock your opponent out easier is pretty awful.
And look, he's acting like a coy little kid there, Like, shucks.
Look at the guy he hit. He's like as limp as spaghetti. Might have killed the dude.
Yeah. Peanuts, popcorn, candy. Oh boy, dude. Who would want food while they're in the midst of a battle?
Me. You got to keep those electrolytes up.
The chief says he's going to make cassoulet de bolif supreme au gratin de lia marian out of us. Isn't that wonderful? I don't think so. I think he basically just said he's going to make you into some kind of meat and cheese stew, dude.
Oh yes. The au gratin means the cheese is going to be layered on top into a crust. Which I guess if you are going to serve a person, that's probably the best way to serve them.
Mm-hmm. Magic Moro by Vern Ernst. Magic Moro has rescued the first white people he has seen in 18 years. Hostile natives, and now he prepares to leave the Isle of Utongo and return to America with Sam Godwin and his daughter Mary.
What did you say the author's name was?
I was thinking Vern Ernst, but
It's Ken Ernst.
Yeah, obviously the cursive there threw me off.
Well, especially because he did it two different ways, right? It's like kind of like a really quick first name, and then I'm going to sit here and capitalize every letter of the last name.
Yeah. I suggest that you and your party return to the ship, Mr. Goodwin. I have to bid farewell to Tantatalu. Umla will guide one of your men to my secret hideout and help Barnes back to the ship. Excellent idea, lad. Cotter, you go with Umla. Come, I show way. Hurry back, Moro. I wouldn't want anything to happen to you now. Now, mind you, I'm just doing it because I'm the only one doing the voice. I know I'm probably, it might be a little disturbing to hear me speaking as a woman, but Slug Kata and Umla set out for Moro's cabin in the hills. Umla be plenty sorrowful when Massa Moro leave with you. So will I, son. That walking Atlas ad is number one on my hate parade. I wonder what now, Grant. I know there's probably a continuing story, but based on what we've read, based on what I've read thus far, Metal, what do you think is going on there? Why do you think he's number one on his hit parade? His hate parade.
Well, this guy seems to be a really, really bad guy in general. He's just kind of exuding that aura, so to speak. So I'm guessing he's probably thwarted him at least once, if not several times in the past of various activities, probably illicit, that he's tried to do.
Well, yeah. What maybe one other possibility too? Maybe he's also got an eye for the girl, and now
Maybe.
maybe the walking atlas there is and now another way of thwarting, as it were, as you put it. Look, Massa Barnes, up and around. I thought everyone had forgotten about me. What's up? Cotter, briefly, uh, let's see, relate what has happened. See. Hey, what the devil is that in the distance? Looks like a smoke signal. Hmm. It is ceremonial fire for Tantatalu and Magic Moro to make talks with gods. You take Barnes back to the ship. Umla. Moro may need my help. See you later. By following the direction of the smoke, Cotter comes out in the hills near Tantatalu's retreat. There's the White Hope now, and this makes a perfect ringside seat. And unaware of Cotter's um, presence, you must leave now, Moro. Gods have warned me today that a great um, disaster will shortly overtake the isle of Utongo and its people. Goodbye, Tantatalu. I will never forget you. The the venerable old man, weary with the weight of countless years, wipes a lone tear from his eye as Magic Moro melts into the deep shadows of the jungle.
I actually like, I'm going to compliment this story because you don't see this very often, how even though you could easily pair that narration with the panel after it because it is describing what's in the panel, that the narration gets its own dedicated panel instead of just like boxing off the space for the art in the next panel.
Hmm. Yeah. Well, it seems like that's kind of what they're doing with a lot of these panels here, huh?
Yeah, no, I'm just saying like this comic is doing that in general, but it's not something you see often in other comics.
Ah, yeah. How touching. Now to follow Mr. Morrow, who knows he might meet with an accident. A bullet through that body beautiful would be too obvious. But if that same bullet were to sever one of those vines, hmm, all right. All right. Okay. Well, thanks, Arrow. Thanks for putting an arrow there to tell us exactly how to go.
Yeah.
um, Slug Cotters takes deliberate aim at the vine Moro is swinging from. Think fast, Mister Moro. I never miss. The well-placed bullet parts the vine, and Moro's weight does the rest. Oh!
I do have an issue with this arrow, though. And it's actually counter to the thing I just complimented the story on.
Uh-huh. What,
Because the panel
putting
with
over
the
and blocking
narration.
off the picture?
Yeah. Well, it's because since the panel with the narration is its own panel, separate from the picture that it's narrating, that arrow is actually pointing to the pictured panel first and not the narration for it.
Ah. Oh, okay. I see what. Yeah. Hmm. Well, I guess I just lucked out and figured out how to to do the narration. Well, I
Oh no,
use
no, it's pretty obvious. It's just like that's a poorly placed arrow.
uh, Moro hits the ground with terrific force as Kata watches a great lion leaps from the undergrowth. The beast lands astride Moro's inert form. This is perfect. Now to tell the Goodwins of the death of their precious Moro. Mary, Mr. Goodwin. Dad, Cotter's back. We've got to get out of here. Right away. Magic Moro was just killed by a jungle beast. Moro? Dead? No. You must be mistaken. But I saw it, and, well, all we'll all be killed if we don't leave. Calm yourself, Cotter. Um, see that Barnes and Umla set aboard the ship. Mary and I will wait here for a while. Meanwhile, Cotter's jungle beast has turned out to be none other than Hector, Moro's pet lion. Maybe you should have stuck around to make sure. Hector dragged Moro to a nearby waterfall. Moro is quickly revived by the ice-cold water. Vine broke. Fell Hector. Good old Hector.
I mean, if you want to wake somebody up fast, ice cold water will do it.
Yeah, it's like, ah! I've got to get the good ones off the isle. No time to lose. As Moro races the wind toward the beach, an earthquake begins to shake the island. An earthquake. Tantatalu is right. Back at the beach, um, a great tidal wave has caught Mary and her father in its wet grip. Help! Help! Sam Goodwin is caught beneath a giant falling tree. A similar fate is about to befall Mary when Mary. Oh, look at Mary right there. That's
That's a good
quite an
angle.
eye catch, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a very good angle.
uh, Moro, thank heaven you're alive. With superhuman strength, Moro lifts the great tree which had pinned a Goodwin to the ground. He's clear now. Oh. He's clear now. You'll be
That's
safe. Oh, go ahead.
that's really heavy. You ever try to lift a tree?
Not really, but I think you're right. It would be pretty heavy. Maybe that's
I've had to
part of the
move.
reason why they call him Magic Moral. Maybe because he's
Yeah, because I've had to move stumps around before. Like I paid to move things from place to place, and even some of those like tree stumps from felled trees can weigh anywhere between 50 to 100 pounds by themselves. And then you add like the tree itself is anywhere between 10 to 50 times taller than just that stump. It's that's pretty heavy.
yeah, and probably quite awkward to lift too.
Oh yeah, because all the weight's on one side.
You'll be safe up here until I can retrieve the rowboat. Magic Moro's keen eyes spot the boat stranded high and dry on top of a rock formation. I've never doubled for water before, um, but here goes. Moro lifts the heavy boat uh, bodily and carries it back toward the beach. Moro, father's still unconscious. Well, get him to the ship as quickly as possible. This is and will go under any minute. Or this island will go under any minute. Will go under any minute. But the oars are gone. Never mind oars. Never mind, oars would be futile in water like this. We'll have to do it the hard way. The hard way? What do you think the hard way is, Metal?
By hand.
Probably. Not just by hand, mind you. Look at the next panel there. Moro.
Did you answer Fizchoso's question?
No, I didn't even see it because I didn't.
This is, I wonder how beavers move so many trees. They don't move whole trees.
No,
beavers.
They usually
break them apart.
Oh, you want to answer it, or should I?
I was saying, like, after a tree is felled, which often beavers don't fell whole trees unless they're the smaller ones. A lot of times they'll take things that have already naturally fallen down. But after a tree is felled, they will take branches and then eventually work their way onto the stump, actually biting them down into smaller, manageable pieces.
Yeah. All right, so as we continue on here, let's see. Moro places the landing rope between his vice-like jaws. Wow, strong jaws if he's going to do what I think he's going to do.
Mm-hmm.
And with great strokes, bringing to plow through, begins to plow through the waves.
Yeah, he's holding the rope in his mouth so that he can swim freely.
He's towing it with his mouth, and he's got to have some strong jaws there to pull that off.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like a normal person couldn't do that on a different scale, right? But at the speed I'm assuming he's going, it's like, yeah, that's a lot of torque on his mouth.
Mm-hmm. Hurry, Moro. Father looks so pale. Magic Moro sights two um, enormous swordfish, maddened by the storm, heading straight for the small boat. Hold tight, Mary. I'll be back in a minute. Moro dives deep and covers up directly under the fish. Moro picks out and wraps his powerful arms around it. The fish struggles wildly to get free, but suddenly goes limp, dead. Wow, so he must have strangled him to death or something. What do you think?
Well, let me think about that. Could have.
Or more
Could have
simply, just crushed.
snapped his
Yeah.
spine. That's another thing that could have happened.
Hmm.
No, especially because like a lot of these fish, they need to keep swimming to be able to breathe, right? So if you were to crush their spine, they might drown in a matter of seconds.
Hmm. Hmm. One gone now for his pal. Using the dead swordfish as just that, a sword, um, Moro runs through the other fish. Touche! Oh, look at this! Whoa! Look at that!
Hmm. Yeah, that's a pretty violent. Normally we don't see blood like that in these panels, but I guess maybe you can get away with it more because they're fish. But it is nice to see how the blood kind of just flows through the water.
Hmm. Yeah. Thank heaven you didn't drown. Tantatalu taught me the trick of being at home underwater. Meanwhile, Goodwin's ship, the Mary G, has been dashed against a reef by the storm and is stuck listing badly. Massa Barnes, Kata, Massa Barnes, Kata, comes quick. Magic Moro, not deadly. The excited trio rush to the railing. Cotter quickly masked his dismay at the sudden turn of events. Moro alive! The man ain't human. Come on, we've got to get them aboard. Magic Moro's thrilling adventures have only begun. Follow the exciting story of the Magic Man among men in this magazine next month and every month. Ken Ernst. All right. So overall impressions of that story, Metal.
It's a little all over the place, I have to
Hmm.
say. That might have been the intent, so I don't know if that's a negative criticism towards it. Um, it seems like it was intended to be a little all over the place, but it was an adventure, which is probably what they were selling. We
Hmm.
started at point A and we went all through the jungle, and there was a bunch of exciting events that happened. We even got some bloodshed. There was a lion.
Hmm. All right. So that Shozo had a comment here. Again, rodents can do it, not humans. I guess going back to the whole how they break down trees. I guess. Well, you have to remember too; those particular rodents have incredibly strong front buck teeth there to do it with too.
Well, the important part is like rodents in general have a type of tooth that grows throughout their entire life, and that they're constantly wearing away at, almost like how your fingernails are. That's why mice can just eat through walls without worrying, because they are constantly damaging their teeth, but they grow back, right? Um, you wouldn't worry about biting into stuff too if your teeth were constantly growing, but also you'd make sure you were biting through stuff because you'd hurt yourself if you didn't, because your teeth are constantly growing. They'd get too big. But if you count the fact that we can make tools, we're actually much better at all of that than rodents are. Right? Like we could take a single axe and chop that tree up a lot faster into smaller pieces that can be moved. We could take a rope. I'm not even talking about complex tools like machinery. We could take simple tools and machines. We just take a rope and like two guys can drag a tree if we don't care about it tearing up the ground underneath it.
Well, I mean,
the rodents have to break
do,
it
right?
up.
That's what lumberjacks do, right?
Oh yeah. Like we're much better. The cool thing is bees are one of the few creatures we know that actually do reshape their environment similar to us. It's like them, certain insects like ants and bees and termites, and certain other, not rodents, like muscelids and stuff. We've got like meerkats, and I guess prairie dogs are rodents, so we do have other rodents. But there's very few types of creatures that we see that reshape their environment the same way that we do. And that's one of the things that makes beavers really cool.
All right. So, anyways, get ready to move. Let's see, we're just past the hour 12 here, so might, depending upon how things go, how fast I can read some of these and stuff like that. Might get through at least 2, maybe 3 more stories. I'll probably try to wrap these stories up by about a quarter till, and then we'll get into start to wrap things up with this day in each history and all that. So let's see now. As I said, we'll winky wink there. Said we'll cut Moon Mullins. Actually, I'll skip that one too. Even though I know the Gumps. All right, that sounds like an interesting story. The Gumps. Say, Chester, have I ever told you what a remarkable mind your mother has? Gee, but this sure is a swell day. Hun, I was just thinking, as long as I have the day off. Yes, I know. You were just thinking all as long as you have the day off, you might go out and brush up on your golf. You're a little off your game, and the exercise might do you good. Well, I heard all that before. Exercise? Why, if I ask you to do anything around the house, you're always too tired. Oh boy, where do you think this could be going, Metal?
That he's got a honey-do list that he needs to finish.
Honey, do this. Honey, do that. Honey, do this.
Yeah.
Honey, do... Much like Fred a lot of times, right? Fred Flintstone.
Yeah.
I wish you would just spend about half this time and energy you do looking for lost golf balls, doing things around the house. There are plenty of things to be done around here. The attic looks a mess. So does our lawn. It needs cutting. But of course, that isn't really exercise. You, you may be a marathon runner on a golf course, but you're just a country plant or a
It's a
century plant
century.
at home. Sorry, George, but it's no soap.
It's crazy. It's like some men love tending to their lawn. It's like one of the proudest things they can do. It's like they just wait for the opportunity. It's like, yes, I get to make it look nice. But I think that's exercise. It's a lot of days if I knew I had to mow the lawn back at the old place, I'd be like, cool. I don't have to do my other exercises today. I'm gonna go wreck my back mowing the lawn. Especially because how awful the lawnmower was. It's like if it was a good lawnmower, it would have been a breeze. I probably would have still done some exercise, but like that thing was so awful that like I feel like I was working harder doing that than lifting weights.
All right. Yeah, because I know we do a lot of action stuff usually. That I'm just looking for more like slice of life humor stuff to go over. I know we did the one with the Magic Moro, but I'm just figuring, let's make things a little more lighthearted today.
Yeah.
So Smitty by Baron 7. I'm guessing that's what that says. Anyway.
I don't know. It kind of just looks like it says burnt.
I'd give $1 million. I'd give $1 million dollars if I could dope out how the boss could see me through the telephone.
Oh, I was right.
What?
It does just say burnt. It's just the last name. Smitty was written and created by Walter Burnt, which he only signed with just his last name.
Oh, okay. Went and looked that up.
Yeah.
Ha ha ha! The kid is still trying to figure out about the television. But this does seem a little small. Actually, let me see what happens if I can. Actually, the funny thing is, I've just been trying to. All right, so let's see how I can. This might make things a little easier to read. Ha ha ha! The kid is still trying to figure out about the television array attachment I used on the phone. If he only knew it was a joke, and that I was across the street looking at him through the window. I got to check up on that invention. I'll call him from downstairs and see if he can do it again. Hello, boss. This is Smitty. Can you see what I'm doing now? Oh, say, hold the wire a minute. Uh-oh. I think you may have stumbled onto the secret, or he's about to stumble onto the secret. What do you think, Metal?
Maybe.
Let's see. Aha. He's trying to catch me, the little smarty. I'll see where he is. He's not using that phone. And he's not in the library. Not here either. Hello, Smitty. I haven't any time just now. Some people just came in. Goodbye. Ha 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 ha. I made him. I made him back down that time. Am I smart? Ring, ring, ring. 40 cents overtime, please. Huh.
I would like some overtime.
Oh, I see. This is separate panels here. I guess we can. Hello, Smith. You're looking good today. Have a heart, will you, Joe? You guys have kidded me plenty. Oh, he's got a monkey on his neck. Look at that. You see that?
There are worse places to have a monkey.
Isn't it bad enough having a monkey on your neck all the time without you guys rubbing it in? Oh, I know, but is there any truth in the saying that if you're with a person long enough, you get to look like him? Oh boy.
Oh, that's mean.
Oh boy. What's that imply, you think?
But he looks like a monkey.
Yeah, now all we have to do is see if he starts, climbing trees and eating bananas, right? Golly, I'd give anything to know how to get this monkey off my neck. Usually people are asking how to get the monkey off the back, but I guess he's got. There must be some way now. Let me think. I've tried a lot of ways, but nothing has worked. I think something's about to work here. Let's see. Gosh, I wish I could think of it. I wish I could think of something. So all he had to do was start smoking. The monkey goes away.
Oh yeah. Sounds like a metaphor.
Monkeys know that nicotine is bad for them.
I don't know if it's the nicotine. I don't think they understand that. Maybe just the
smoke,
carbon monoxide getting inside of them from the smoke, possibly.
So when I smoke a cigar, you don't like it. You don't like to sit on my neck. I never thought a cigar could give me so much comfort. Ha ha ha. Yeah, but what? I wonder what that price is going to end up being for that comfort, right?
Well, it's just a cigar. It's probably not that heavy. I mean, I don't know. Cigars can be pretty expensive. Probably more so for your wallet than your health.
Yeah, but all the carcinogens that are in it.
Yeah, cigars aren't actually that bad, to be honest. They're especially like, God, there's people who smoke a cigar a day their entire life who live until they're like 90. It's not like cigarettes. In fact, I would say cigars are probably a much better habit than smoking cigarettes.
Right. Well, it's kind of funny because my grandmother was a cigarette smoker and she lived pretty close to that.
Yeah.
Lived into her 80s. Yeah, so. Doctor, I believe Pa has caught a cold. I'll drop over. Quite right, you've got a cold. Stop smoking. What?
Yeah. Especially when you think like you don't really inhale with cigars like you do cigarettes so much. You more just chew and puff on them.
He's back on my neck again, just because the doctor ordered me to stop smoking, and that was the only thing that would keep him off. Whoop, whoop, cat. Achoo! Hey, you're 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 so strong. You'd make a swell football player. See see you mold mold it like this and throw. Now you throw.
Oh, this is a question that I can answer. He says, why is the monkey fascinated with the guy's neck? Is it a vampire? You kind of already alluded to this earlier. It's actually an old phrase or saying, like a metaphor. You'd have it in variations of a monkey on the back, monkey on the neck, monkey on the shoulder. And it kind of just refers to like an ongoing burden that you can't get rid of.
Right. Yeah, I made reference to the more common phrasing of it, the monkey on the back.
Yeah, I think that at least these days is the persisting version of it. Back
Oh,
then, all three of those were kind of equal depending on where you were.
hmm.
And they're just making a visual version of the metaphor because it's a comic. Make it funny.
Yeah.
Or idiom. Actually, I think it's more of an idiom in this case.
All right. Come on, chimp. I want you to meet the gang. I want to show them how strong you are. Here comes Herbie. Let's hold the door so he can't get in. And he utilizes the monkey to like look at that next panel right there. You see that?
Yeah. I think this is a chimp, which would make it an ape.
I tell you, he's as strong as 10 men. For a penny, I'll let you feel his muscle. Okay. 1 penny first, please. 1 penny first, please. Oh boy, I'll say he's got a muscle. Hey, wait! You forgot to pay me a penny. Oh, you want a penny, huh? Just feel this muscle. Oh boy. Good grief, what was that? Crash! Oop! Break my new vase, will you? Oh, okay. I guess that was a woman. Oops.
Mm-hmm. You know, I get the joke. Reprimanding a chimp is not a very smart idea, though.
What was that?
I said, I get the joke about blaming the chimp for something the kid did, right? But
Uh-huh.
like reprimanding a chimp that way, corporal
Oh,
punishment, spanking the behind.
I didn't even see that.
No, that's not a very good idea. In a comic, a chimp can be well behaved and be like a member of your family, and even in real life, they can act like a member of your family as long as you keep them well fed and happy and social. But they're still like wild, unpredictable animals, and
Oh,
you should see how chimps handle those type of situations among other chimps who are strong enough to handle them wrestling. But a chimp like that will easily just like tear your face right off.
oh yeah, yeah. I could just see it slapping at the woman.
Yeah, yeah.
uh,
And it doesn't know either, right? Because like instinct, they do that to each other, but they're also stronger, can handle each other. It's really hard for a chimp to tear another chimp's face off, right? Because they can hold each other back, unless you get a friend and they gang up on them. But they don't understand the difference in their own strength between the rest of their quote unquote family when they're living with humans.
mm-hmm. Well, yeah, but if this is something that was going on today too, You probably have the SPCA and I can't think of some of the others, but the SPCA, the PETA and all that coming down, come try bash down your door like, how dare you spank that chimp? Of course, it does give a more literal interpretation of the term "spank the monkey," right?
Yeah, and Fizz says, to be fair, that chimp was high when he did that. I think he's talking about the story about the chimp that lived with the lady, and he started attacking her friend, and she tried to stop him, and then he like tore his owner's face off. But even chimps that aren't high are problems, right? Like on sets, chimps that have spent their entire life in show business have to have specific handlers, and even their handlers who are nice to them have to have Trent guns handy in case something goes wrong. Most of the time it doesn't, right? Because the handler knows how to work with the chimp to keep them in good behavior, but they still have to be prepared in case something goes wrong.
Yeah, like basically they fall into more of an instinctive state of mind.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. All right.
And it's because their brain is wired differently than ours.
And of course, a friendly reminder, if you haven't already, if you guys can help out by liking and sharing the stream, see if we can get some more friendly people to engage, that'd be appreciated. Also, as you have been doing, feel free, if anything grabs your attention, feel free to comment and or ask questions, and we'll try to answer the questions to the best of our ability. So, anyways, all right. That's all right. Whatever a monkey sees, you do. He'll do. Don't be late for work, Smitty. Aw, Ma. Goodbye, dear. Now, watch the street crossings on your way to school. Goodbye, darling. Oop. Eee! Oh, the chimp has found a girlfriend. Isn't that cute? Oop, 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 oop. My, aren't you strong? Oop, oop, oop. You said it. You said it. Watch this. He break the chain. Oop. He break the chain. Chip. Where the monk? Oh, I'm afraid. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm afraid they've eloped. And it looks as if they're eloped with your music box.
The time that he ran over there, they went back, grabbed his music box, and then started running off again. Those organ grinders.
What was that?
I said those organ grinders.
The boss has got another bright idea. Listen to him. I want you all to observe that box I put up on the wall. I call it a complaint and suggestion box. If you have any little troubles, just write a note and drop it in there. You don't need to sign your name. Oh, so that's nice of him. Put something in there to where they can make complaints without getting in trouble, because when he finds out who said it or who made the complaint, I'll look at them all personally. Don't be afraid to say jots on your mind. What's on your mind? Yeah, the way they lettered that W there, I thought it looked kind of like a J there.
Look how many complaints he got now since they don't have to sign their name. That's a good way to get a lot of complaints, though, right? It's like, oh, no consequences to what I'm about to say. Here, let me go to town.
Continued next month. All right. So, what did you think? Well, I guess we got to that particular. What did you think of those selections there? Those panels.
I mean, for a kind of normal strip newspaper slice of life comic, it was all right.
Kind of entertaining, right?
Yeah.
All right. So, I guess we'll
The
try.
type of stuff.
We're at
About an hour and a half, a little
yeah,
past.
I was thinking trying one more, but let's see. Smokey, Summer, Jamelis. Yeah, I guess we. Oh, Herald Team. Actually, excuse me. Herald Team. Yeah, I think I think I'll just wrap up a little early tonight. I guess.
Okay. Whatever you feel.
Yeah. So how did you like the selections tonight? I know we only went through 3 of them tonight, but
They're all right. I think actually, I think this time I definitely preferred the strips over the non-strip, like the collections.
The humor one as opposed to the Magic Mora one.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna
Yeah,
go
you
off
sound pretty
camera.
stuffy.
Yeah, well, I noticed. I'm gonna go off camera for a quick moment. I'll be right back. But if you want to talk to the chat for a moment while I'm away,
Listen, I'll talk to the chat, but I don't know if the chat wants to talk to me. Hey, chat. Actually, I hate that. That's become the standard, right? To refer to the people in the chat as the chat. Everybody does that, and I hate it. I think as a person in the chat, I hate being referred to as chat. But I guess one of the main reasons is because it's a generalized, non-offensive term to refer to everybody in there. You can't just say, "Hey guys" these days. Oh, what if there's a girl in the chat? It's like, well, she's part of the guys now. You showed up. That's just the way it is. It's just you and Rick. I think it's just you and Rick, if Rick's even still around. But that is the chat. Not to be confused with the audience who might watch this later. They're not around. You guys are cool. Future whoever's watching this, but you don't matter right now. You're not here live with us. But I hope you had a good time anyway.
All right. So with that being said, well, I do appreciate all the views, contrary to what our contrarian of the night here did.
I didn't say they weren't appreciated. I'm just saying they don't matter as much as the people who are here right now.
I guess what you mean is in the moment, because
yes.
Yeah, but I do encourage everybody though to be here for the live shows. I mean, you get the same amount of information afterwards, but you always have a chance to interact with me and my host on Sundays and with me throughout the week. We can have good conversations and stuff like that. That's why I call the show the Mikestand. So you have a chance to share your thoughts on what we're talking about.
Well, it's like there's two different forums here, right? The chat is for you to actually interact live with the show. The comment section is for you to air your grievances after the fact.
Yeah. Can somebody retweet my poster? I need to let people know I'm working on stuff.
Well, I think he's mostly just talking to me, or I guess somebody else in the chat, because you don't tweet at all.
Yeah, I'm not on Twitter at all. So, or
For
X.
your own mental health.
Yep. So, anyways, well, we're at hour 41, so I guess it's a good time to start wrapping things up. Well, today is Sunday, March 23rd, 2025. So we're going to take a look back at this weekend in Nietzsche history. History! So let me just remind myself. 23. First off, of course, we're going to go back to yesterday, back on March 22nd. So first off, 70 years ago yesterday. 70 years ago yesterday. So let's pull that up. 70 years ago yesterday, the 130th issue of Tom and Jerry Comics from Dell went on sale on yesterday's date 70 years ago. Sold for comics were still selling for 10 cents for 32 pages in 1955. Of course, Dell and later, Gold Key took over the practice, of course. Dell made a habit of licensing properties from other media and then turning them into comics. So on yesterday's date, 70 years ago, the 130th issue of Tom and Jerry Comics from Dell went on sale on newsstands, selling for 10 cents, and they were 32 pages. Now, moving ahead to the year 2000, so 25 years ago yesterday, so I can bring that up. All right, so 25 years ago yesterday, over in Japan, Madhouse's Boogie Pop Phantom premiered in Japan 25 years ago yesterday. So 25 years ago yesterday, Madhouse's Boogie Pop Phantom premiered on Japanese TV. Of course, it premiered on TV Tokyo as the original network. It originally was, as I recall, it was originally licensed here in the States by, I believe it was Central Park Media, but now it's licensed by Crunchyroll. And even Funimation had aired it when they still had their channel. So there we go with that. And then we have a couple from today as well. And I do see that shows those comments and see what he's having to say here. Oh, wait. You two are having a back and forth there, right?
No, the question's for you. He's
Okay.
like, I want to ask a question. Like, well, you better ask it. It's better to just ask the question than say you want to ask a question.
All right. Well, I don't. Well, Rick might still be here. I'm not sure. He hasn't
Yeah.
said it. Let's see.
Yeah, we're past the poster thing.
I
It's
don't
after
know
my
if Mike
comment.
has a Twitter. Basically, I don't. I was on Twitter before, but I got off of it for my mental health. I want to ask a question before it's over. All right. Mike, do you believe characters like the prankster and the trickster have bad power sets that don't work in modern times, or can they still work? You're talking about the prankster, trickster. These are okay. The prankster and trickster are obviously two different DC characters. The prankster was one of Superman's original villains. He was more of a originally back in the golden age, he was more or less a nuisance criminal. He was somebody who just liked to pull pranks just because he thought it was funny to disrupt society. Later they made it to where he would become more of a distraction for hire criminal, where he'd pull pranks to help other criminals commit their crimes. The trickster would use various, and the trickster was more of a product of the Silver Age, of course, where he would use specialized gadgets to try to outwit the Flash. He was a bit of a stunt man and all that. Could these characters, depending upon which incarnation you're talking about, of course, could these characters work in mine? I don't know if people would find them quite as funny as they used to, because it does seem like, or quite as entertaining. I think just the way our society seems today, I think a lot of people would think that these kind of criminals are just stupid, but in all honesty, they're probably quite sharp, for particularly when the prankster would become a distraction for hire criminal. Anyway, I'm going to go off camera one more time here real quick, because the lighting in here is getting a bit dark, a bit dim, so I'm going to turn on the. I'll be right back.
Oh, he wrote it in the comment after, but I already knew why he was asking. It's because he has a similar type character who does like pranks and gadgets and stuff, but he wants to use it as a hero instead, which, putting it in the protagonist situation, does change a lot of the perspective.
Yeah. Well,
but everybody tells him, or according to him, I don't know these people who are telling him. Everyone tells him that it's not a good idea. I actually don't even know if that's the case. I think most of the time Fizchoso's just really bad at selling his ideas to people.
Yeah, not everybody has the talent for, not everybody may have the natural charisma or just, to do stuff. But, it shouldn't stop you from trying, do what you think you can do, But
part of the pitch as well is not just what you should say. It's also what you shouldn't say, right? There's a lot of times where your pitch just doesn't need certain information, and you can end up killing people's interest in something because you gave them too much information.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard that story before. That was me when I was younger. I'd volunteer too much information at times.
Yeah.
And in my particular case, it wasn't always about me trying to sell things. It was just general, but that's just how I always am.
Yeah.
I've often admitted I myself am honest almost to a fault, if to a fault. But let's see. Rick, I guess, is responding. I think it would depend on how you execute the idea.
I think that's the case for like 90% of ideas. It's all about how it's executed.
Another thing is, said prank character fight horror-themed villains while not being horror-themed himself. Oh, you're talking about your character, Vizchoso?
Yeah, he's talking about his character.
All right. Well, I think in a way, let's see, I think the closest thing, at least from mainstream comics, to what might be considered a quote-unquote prank character hero might be Harley Quinn right now. Being kind of an anti-hero, borderline villain at times. She uses a lot of gimmicks and gadgets, but yes, all right. So, yeah, but basically, I think depending upon how you use a prank character, They could be, as with anything, they could be good, they could be bad. As I said, when you're talking about like specifically like the prankster, for example, the prankster originally, I don't remember the exact issue or whatever, but I remember, from my previous research on it, the prankster was one of Superman's Golden Age enemies, and he was more or less a nuisance criminal. He basically would pull pranks just for the purpose of pulling pranks because he thought it'd be funny to basically disrupt society. Later, from what I read, they made him a distraction for a higher criminal, where other criminals would hire him out to pull pranks. So, to distract like Superman and other heroes, so they could, have an easier chance of succeeding in their crime. And then
Not prank related, but do you know there's a Marvel character whose path took a very similar trajectory, and that was Batroc the Leaper. His later career was mostly just other people hiring him to distract superheroes like Captain America so they could try to get away.
Right. Yeah, and then the trickster, again, was somebody who would rely on a lot of his gadgets and tricks to battle the Flash and commit his crimes. So the trickster wasn't as, the trickster just, but then particularly when you look at the Silver Age, due in large part because of the Comics Code Authority, right? Because of the Comics Code Authority and a lot of the restrictions that were placed on comics because of the Comics Code Authority, the characters had to be more cartoony, because you couldn't have a lot of like hardcore violence and blood and all that. Like in the Golden Age, you've seen even today when we're looking at the Magic Morrow story, right? Where, you could show blood, you could show guys getting beat up, you could, and stuff like that. But during the Silver Age, couldn't really do that because parents and government would have had a fit. Like, how dare you expose my kids to this? My kid's going to become a delinquent now if he sees this stuff.
Every generation had their Karens.
Yeah. In DC Tangent Universe, they made Joker a good guy, gal, because Joker was a girl in that universe, and she used pranks. All right. So, anyways, so back to this day and age. We'll get to the two things from today. Let's see. All right. So yeah. So first off, so we're gonna go back 75 years ago today. 75 years ago today, back to 1950. As on this date, back in 1950, a couple of things actually happened, both kind of involving Warner Brothers. Of course, on this date back in 1950, the 22nd Academy Awards were happening on this date back in 1950. At the Academy Award, Chuck Jones's Pepe Le Pew cartoon, Sentimental Reasons, produced by Warner Brothers, wins an Academy Award for Best Animated Short. Also on this date, back in 1950, Fritz Freiling's Tweety and Sylvester short, Canary Row, premiered in theaters and marked the debut of Tweety's owner, Granny. So Granny debuted on this date back in 1950. So there you go with that. And now moving ahead to 2015, 10 years ago today. On this date, 10 years ago today, WWE held its Go Home Raw before that year's WrestleMania from the Staples Center in Los Angeles, California. Of course, among the things that happened on this night, aside from the wrestling itself, Kevin Nash was inducted in the WWE Hall of Fame on this date back in 2015 on that show's Monday Night Raw. The main event for the show saw Dolph Ziggler defeat Daniel Bryan with Dean Ambrose serving as special guest referee. Los Matadores of Diego and Fernando and El Torito defeated the Brass Ring Club of Cesaro, Tyson Kidd, and Natalia. Nikki Bella retained the Divas Championship over Paige. See, in a 3-on-1 handicap match, Randy Orton defeated Seth Rollins and J&J Security, Jamie Noble, and Joey Mercury. And the show opened up with Dean Ambrose teaming with R-Truth to defeat Luke Harper and Stardust. So there we go with that. So, all right. So with that, that's all I've got for tonight. Let's see. Bugs Bunny might even fit the thing of a tricky prankster and be considered a good guy. Yeah, I mean, well, yeah, Bugs would often use his trickery to evade Elmer Fudd. All right,
I would say you have to put quotations around good guy with Bugs. Bugs is not always a good guy. There are times where Bugs has committed crimes, trespassing, theft, violent assault. Sometimes he's almost outright a criminal. He's just the protagonist that we follow.
Right. Oh, good point. Good point. But with that, before we head out, wrapping things up here. So, Metal, I'll give you a chance to of course promote anything you want to promote, anything you're doing this week, or share any links. The floor is yours.
Yeah, well, I think the only thing I'm going to share link-wise is the Patreon link again that I shared earlier on, because I need money. There are exclusives to just the Patreon if you are somebody who likes X Dynamis Chaos. I think I have 3 different tiers right now, but there are things that I don't post anywhere else. You will get to see it there. One tier is for stuff from the main site that is technically free for everyone, but you'll get behind the scenes stuff. You'll get like inks or pencil sketches before they get finalized, behind the scenes background pictures that I've never published and don't plan on publish, things from like decades ago that I still happen to have around. And there's also tiers dedicated to the Dreamscape Dilemma, which is the new story I will be putting out this year with an artist that isn't me. It's a premium story. And if you're a supporter there, not only do you get all the behind the scenes stuff for the Dreamscape Dilemma, you get to read all the finished pages first. And as long as you supported any time during the production of that chapter, we will send you a PDF of the finished one when it's done.
All right. And anything else you want to promote? Like maybe
nope, that's the important thing.
This week?
Nope, no, that's the important thing.
All right. Well, then I'll do it. I'll do it for you on your behalf. So don't forget tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Central. Metal will, of course, be having his Vomitorium show, the Super Serial Sentai.
Showtime.
Showtime.
The other name that you said earlier was like Super Sentai Showdown. That is a good name. I might use it for something sometime.
Sorry, I'm mixing it up. I'm trying. And then Game Central Junction this Thursday at 9 p.m. Central. So with that, and of course, I'll be back here tomorrow night with, of course, Niche News. All the latest in the world of anime, cartoons, comic, manga, pro wrestling. So I hope to see everybody back here tomorrow night. And then next week, of course, I'll have RJ Carter joining me for another trip down comics history lane. So with that, I thank everybody for being here, and I hope to see everybody back here tomorrow. Bye.